As we head into August, you may be wondering, what is the deal with TS12, especially with new rumors coming out from The Sun about Taylor shooting a music video? Well, I've got a take that I guarantee you haven't heard before, so let's break it down. With TS12, Taylor has a decision to make. Does she go back to what we've seen with a lot of the previous original albums, where we get a series of intricate Easter eggs and we see Taylor's way of dressing completely change before the album announcement? Or does she stick with her new trend of surprise drops? For this next album, TS12, I'm hoping and willing to bet that she goes back to that previous rollout, illustrated very well by what we saw with Lover. There was a very stark change where her style went from the previous Reputation style to Lover. We started getting a series of aesthetically related posts on Instagram and other hints from Taylor Nation before the final announcement of Me with the mural over a month later. For TS12, we're looking at an album that's been written during a really stable, happy, celebratory part of her life. At least that's how it's looked to us from the outside. So I'm expecting a lot of glitter gel pen, fun, whimsy, playful aspects to the music, and thus I would expect a playful, fun rollout with lots of teases and lots of Easter eggs. This brings us to the calendar of possibilities. Taylor typically tries not to compete with her friends for the charts or for attention. Thus, I would expect to see very little, if anything, from her for another week while she tries to keep the spotlight on Travis's movie. After which, I don't see enough time for her to do a rollout, top the charts, and be out of the way for Sabrina Carpenter's August 29th release of Man's Best Friend. Sabrina Carpenter's August 29th release will be followed close on the heels by Ed Sheeran's release of Play on September 12th. Then September 14th is the Chiefs home opener. So I'm really not seeing her want to compete with any of that. As such, I don't expect to see a lot from Taylor until after the Chiefs home opener on September 14th. However, that would still give her plenty of time for an October release, and October has historically been her favorite month to release content in. In her brilliant letter on the TS12 release that Sarah Chappelle of Taylor Swift Styled posted to her Substack, she pointed out that there isn't quite an obvious through line in Taylor's dressing yet. Being brilliant, Sarah found one, but it's not quite as strong as what we usually see from an era style out of Taylor. I really think this is because we're still in Taylor's off-season. She hasn't started dressing for TS12 yet. Not really. But what about the article from The Sun over the weekend and Hits Daily Double post, you may be saying? Well, I've got thoughts on that. I do think The Sun was right that she was filming in LA recently, but I think it was more of a case of when it fit into her schedule to be in LA, rather than tied to an official release. That video will still need to be edited, and there's no reason it can't sit on the shelf for a couple of months. The rest of our Easter eggs, they don't feel very urgent either. They could all be for something that's still several months down the line. Here's what we have. The TS12 Easter egg started with Taylor's 12 steps to A12 in Miami. Then we saw a ton of star lens flares in all of the photos from the Eras tour for that last leg. We had the 12 gems in her earrings at the Grammys, the 12 Ds in her post about Selena, and the 12 I's in her master letter, as well as the new logo on that letter about buying her masters. We also have 2 Hits Daily Double reports. We have the arrow heart emoji showing up a good amount, the rumor of an additional producer, as well as potentially the repeated welcome homes of the count-up. Before 1989, Lover, or Midnights, we had more Easter eggs than that, and we had more thematic Easter eggs. So I'm thinking that those Easter eggs are going to start coming hard and fast in the fall, but I'm not expecting anything before October. What do you think? Do you think it'll be sooner than that? Do you think it'll be a surprise drop, or do you think we'll see that fun, playful rollout that we saw with Lover? Let me know your thoughts. Please like and subscribe, and come back to Talk Taylor with me. See you soon!